in the Sharia language is tawadu or humility. Tawadu or humility. As the Prophet says, Man tawada'a lillah rafa'ahu Allah. The one who humiliates or humbles himself for Allah, Allah elevates him. Look at the symbolic language of Kaaba and Karbala. Amazing. Kaaba, what does it mean? The raised part of the foot, doesn't it? Kaab. وَامْسَحُوا بِرُؤُوسِكُمْ وَأَرْجُلِكُمْ إِلَى الْكَعْبَيْنِ. The raised part of the feet. Kaaba, the name Kaaba that is given to the house of God. Why is it being called Kaaba? Because when you descend in that valley, you can't get lower than the position of the house of Allah, and in that humility you find a raised house. The more you lower yourself, the greater is the elevation. Look at the Karbala of Hussein ibn Ali. You will see the shrine of Abbas ibn Ali, but you will not see the golden dome of Hussein until from a proximity. And then again you will have to descend into the haram. And then when you see the shrine of Abu Abdullah, it is not there. It is further down. The amount he lowered himself in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, effaced himself, that is the elevation that Allah gave to him. To the extent that we have a hadith, Sheikh Abbas Qummi quotes it, and he states that when the Kaaba was appointed, Allah inspired the Kaaba and it said to the Kaaba, I have only created you in honor of Karbala. Remain submitted to Hussein ibn Ali. Tawadu is a state of fluidity, is a state of motion in which there is no stagnation, there is no fixed identity. It is always flowing. But this is the most difficult point to arrive at. When we talk about ibadah, what ibadah is supposed to do is to bring this state of humility. And humility, in the rightest understanding and the definition of humility, is fluidity. It's like a fertile land. Humility does not necessarily mean the outward demeanor of a person lowering his head and being gentle in his actions. No, we have many people, like the pretentious person that sits in front of you, who act humbly, but yet who are fixed in their ways. This is not humility. Humility is a state of growth. Humility is that state of readiness and preparedness. Now look at ibadah. This face of ours is known as wajh. It is our representation to the world. When we say ma'ul wajh, the water of the face, it means dignity. A person's dignity is so great that we may give our heads, but we will not lower them. We will not lower them. When these four heads kiss the earth in honor of Allah and in humility and submission, this is supposed to become an inner state. Look at how undignified ibadat is from the aspect of a person's personal worth and dignity. It's the most undignified state for a person to lower themselves to that level in which their foreheads touch the ground. Ibadah is supposed to bring this state within us that I am absolutely nothing and I would give myself to growth. It is this through ibadah that we can arrive at point zero that we talk of. Now this has to work in two ways. Unveiling of the intellectual person and unveiling of the emotional person. And both have to take place in order for us to arrive at the point of beginning. And it's the most difficult task ever. Yesterday in the seminar, we were told, and I've already lost the sense of time, yes? I don't know when I began, and please don't remind me. It suits me. Salawat. You see, we were asked yesterday, or the question was posed, that if we were to expose our children to diverse literature, do we not have a threat of losing them? The answer is this, that the forefathers of the majority of the people who are present at this point today, had they not been exposed to different literature, we would not have sat here as Shia Ithna Ashari, we would have still been Hindus. Think about this. Think about this. Had our forefathers not been audacious and not been humble enough to look at the different perspectives that were there, today me and you would not have remembered Hussein ibn Ali in this way, we would have remembered him differently. Isn't this the greatest bestowal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon us? We ask a second question. Oh Allah, if you have created me such a wonderful mind, I'm not talking about my own mind. When I say me, I'm talking in the generic sense, obviously. You have created me such a wonderful mind. For what? Just so that you can dictate to me and govern my life as you would govern a life of a program on a computer? Is that it? Does that serve your purpose? You have created a human individual with this marvelous brain that he can be confined within the 21st century in a location, and yet his mind traverses the unending galaxies that are out there. Who can gauge the beginning and gauge the end of the physical universe? Who can understand the intricacies of your creation? You have filled him with inquisitive nature, and then you are telling him, do not think beyond this. Does it make sense? It absolutely doesn't make sense. It's absolutely inconsistent with the notion of ibadah. Submission to growth-giving factors is the only reality that Allah is talking about here. The peeling, the unveiling, the arrival at the true person. How odd that there are people who hail Ibrahim for breaking the idols and they fail to break their own idols. How amazing that these are the lovers of Amirul Mu'mineen who stands on the shoulders of Rasulullah and breaks all the idols in the house of Allah, and the lovers of Ali do not entertain their own Ali to break the idols from their own Kaaba so that Allah can occupy them. How strange. This is the most difficult point in human existence. At one point, people were mushrikeen outside the folds of Islam. Today, within the folds of Islam, you find mushrikeen. There's a big difference. Whereas at that point, Islam came as a real alternative to liberate mushrikeen. Today, Islam is the point that's condoning shirk in its entirety. How amazing the way we have changed things. Islam gave audacity, look beyond, have authority. You are the creators of your destiny. And today the same Islam is condoning the existence of idols upon idols. At that point Allah stood in sharp contrast with Allah and Al-Uzza. Today Allah has been made one of the idols. Look at how much things have changed. Where are those free men? Where are those free souls? Where is Ibrahim with his axe? Where is Ali ibn Abi Talib on the shoulders of the Prophet who breaks Al-Lat and Al-Uzza? How amazing. This is the hardest point to arrive at that point zero, the state of humility in the truest sense, the meaning of ibadah in its essence. First comes that breaking of the intellectual idols. How difficult it is for us, just imagine, to say that we can accept an alternative opinion, a contrary opinion. We are so pleased and content with our state.